Whoa! Hey everybody, welcome back to the Unreal Engine live stream. I'm your host, Alexander Pascal, and joining me today is my boss, Chance Ivy, Senior Community
Woo!
Manager. Woo!
Oh, come
Hey,
on, I'm just your coworker and great friend. How are you, Alex?
I'm doing well, really well. I'm excited because today is the deadline of the Epic MegaJam, and
It
I get
is.
to cut
This
off the forum post and all that. So,
I know. It's awesome. It's huge. Those pictures of the tiki, the that makes me want to participate. I know we'll chat a little later on last year's event and everything, but already seeing all the submissions roll through. I mean, I'm meeting people out here at Dev Days that have
oh
been
yeah.
working on their game as well. It is awesome. This has been an amazing event for
hmm
the community, and where I'm excited to get to play the games the minute I get home. So
Oh yeah, I really appreciate
stoked.
all the people that came out, even though there was like OC3 and Steam Dev Days. They were kind of all around that time, and then Hurricane
Yeah.
Matthew happens, so
Woo!
all the people in Southeast U.S., including myself, lost power for a little bit there. So everybody,
Speaking of though,
it's crazy.
Matthew, the monitor behind you, we were just talking beforehand. It was off. Did y'all get it working?
Oh yes, Clint over here got it working. So yes, some people might have noticed in the past couple streams, just maybe just the last one or two, this monitor was not on because during Hurricane Matthew, it caused one of these or one of the actual little PCs that controls these different monitors to totally mess up, and we couldn't even get into the thing. And so he just totally went in there. Did you put it in a new laptop? He put
Oh,
his own work laptop right in there. So thank you. So now we have it.
sacrifices have been made.
Pow.
It's
Yeah.
great.
So yeah, he has to watch the stream on his phone now. So there you go.
Oh,
But
great.
thank you for your sacrifice. We really appreciate it. So we can have this one picture back. It's great.
So yeah, I also wanted to apologize for the darkness here. I am in a hotel room in Seattle, so if quality drops or if I drop out on you as well,
It's
apologize
okay.
now.
If you're being held against your will, blink twice.
Yes. Oh, I will. I will let you know. Don't you worry.
All
Well,
right. So, yeah, we have a lot to talk about with what's been happening at Steam Dev Days, the keynote. We have the Epic Mega Jam deadline at the end of the stream is going to be where the deadline is. I'm going to go ahead and say this before we get too far ahead of ourselves. You can go on ahead, make your post now, link to where your download is going to be if it's still rolling the upload to your Epic Mega Jam entry. So just get the post out there, get the link in there for where it's going to be. That's all right. And if there's a really bad reason that something has happened, contact me, let me know something happened, and maybe we can work something out to get you in there too. But I am going to lock the thread at the end of the stream. Once it's over, I'm just going to go right to the forums and cut it off. So do it now.
yeah,
All
and
right.
on that note, yeah, we just want to make sure we know that things happen all the time,
Yeah.
right? As you've watched the Unreal Engine crash on live stream as we're showing off new features
And with all
multiple
the
times in the
things
past,
that
I'm
have been
sure.
happening, like I'm sure that there's a couple people out there that probably have a couple things they want to say if they
Yeah,
submit it. Like,
sure.
during Hurricane Matthew, lost a week, so just a
Yeah,
heads up. So,
sure.
yeah, definitely, contact me, let me know. Oh, and Michael Eller just dropped this in chat, and I'll reiterate on it, but he said that he will be streaming all of these games, and I think we're up to like 175 right now, and they're pouring in still. And on October 17th at 9 a.m. PST, he will start his playthrough. So 9 a.m. PST, you want to go onto twitch.tv/awesomeowler and start watching Owler have to play. It's probably going to be about 200 games, I think.
Yeah.
So,
If it, if you're not familiar with the game jams, and if this is your first one, Michael Aller has been, super awesome in streaming all the games after every jam. Last year's Mega Jam, I think he went 3 days, three long streams in a row that spanned like over 3 or 4 days. It was nuts, but he'll play through everything. Hopefully he doesn't die. We love you, Aller.
yep. Please
We're
don't die,
sorry.
buddy. Yes, and then we'll fly him out here, and he will be here physically, where I can physically poke him next to
Yeah.
me for the actual winner announcement. So that should be a lot of fun. But we'll go over all that in a little bit. First, it's the news.
Dun dun dun.
So, right, Epic Mega Jam. Just wanted to throw it out there. There's the forum post one more time for you. Go check it out. All right. Phew. So, Robo Recall, which we went over last week, but we yes, Robo Recall. came out last, or the announcement went out last week. We did a little kind of brief interview about it with Daniel and Tommy. Really cool stuff. But now the full blog post is up and all that to check out. And I don't think we actually cover that there is that. You can watch the trailer off of here, check out all the cool pictures, take a look. Really amazing game going to be coming out Q1 2017.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun seeing reactions to that. People are really digging it. We can't wait to get it into the hands of players everywhere. We'll probably have some more information about the game and maybe some developer interviews and things in the future. So stay tuned for that as well.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to do some developer interviews in the future about it. It's just too cool not to, right?
Yeah, awesome team. Awesome teamwork.
So cool, guys. All right. Oculus to cover royalty fees for Unreal Engine developers. Again, because we didn't really have a lot of time to go over all the different blog posts and whatnot that went out. This is a blog post about what we talked about in that interview also, about the royalty fees being covered. If you're making an Unreal Engine game and you put it out through the Oculus Store, the royalties aren't on the sales of the Oculus Store sales. Yes, you can sell in other places, but it won't apply there. And it's totally fine if it's cross-compatible with other stuff too, but they just wanted to make it clear if you're going to sell a UE4 game in their store, no royalty from that. So just really cool of them. Thought that was really nice. And you can check out the full blog post here by Daniel Kaiser.
Cool.
And Unreal Engine Marketplace update for September. A lot of cool new submissions. As you all know, we like to have these blog posts that highlight all the fancy new models, music, special effects, architect stuff, blueprints.
Hey, Alex.
Yes.
Alex, remember about a year ago when we were getting these in every single week and we would cover off all the new packs that are there, and now we're doing them by month because there's just so much great stuff showing up now.
It's true.
How it's grown since then. The creator community is just it's just incredible. There's just so much stuff with so much value in the marketplace now. Anyway, I'll let you get back to it. I'm just looking at it now. It's like, just, wow, how far we've come.
You're absolutely right. Like, just looking at this list of just the environment packs here, that used to be like one thing, and we'd have to like sit there and okay, like not even this entire list. It was, so it's massive now. Like how many we get in a month, a week, how many submissions we have to vet through in a day. That's a full swan with feathers, though. Like, who's going to eat that? Oh, Clint would eat it? Okay, Clint's going to eat that. Not really sure how I feel about the appetizing levels of that fish and the swan. The oysters look good, and the chicken looks all right. The chicken looks really good. It's a nice rotisserie chicken right there, like you get at the grocery store.
Come on, it's almost lunchtime in Seattle.
I just ate, so I can do this to you. It's great. Great weapons packs, all this really cool stuff. But so check it all out. Also, I believe Stephanie is working on some more sales coming up. We want to do a lot more like cool holiday-based sales or something like that. All right, cool. So Clint just told me to keep talking, and he changed the camera so you can't see that he's over here doing technical things, but that's totally what's happening. All right.
Great.
Oops. I did mess up a thing. I'm so sorry, because I meant to have this open for everyone first. Pew! So, after our news items here, I like to go into our community spotlight and spotlight all the cool stuff that's coming out of the community, and we start that off by going to the Answer Hub's top karma earners of the week.
Oh, wow.
Death Ray.
With 370.
Wow. Death Ray and Night Watcher. Okay, if you guys aren't already prestiged, you're definitely getting prestiged now, because this is at least week 3 for 2 of y'all. Razor 313 at 175. Welcome to the club. Everyone gets a badge, and if you get 3 of these, not in a row, but just 3 of these, you get a prestige badge with a happy little gold star on it, so everyone can see that you are super helpful, and all that. For everybody else, please come, try, help out your fellow dev, and earn karma points so that you can get a super cool forum badge. And also we do shout outs on the stream, which is nice. So Death Ray, Night Watcher, yes, thank you for everything you guys do to help each other out, and also to help our support team out whenever there's bug reports. I see a lot of you out there come in there and help out them too, and we really appreciate how much leaning on each other we can do.
There's no great things, or no two great things I can say about how helpful this is for the community as a whole, and how it really builds a knowledge base for anybody to come in and create pretty much anything, right? Like people helping out here is what makes this community, and everywhere, is what makes this community great, and it really promotes developer success, which is what we're all about around here. So thank you for all your contributions.
Yep. All right. First thing in the community spotlight for items of the week. And community spotlight items, by the way, you can send me over any of your cool projects, tutorials, big things that you've kind of worked on. I really like to do series tutorials that like lead up to building a full game. If you've got like your dev blog diaries and stuff, I love those too. And art station stuff like your portfolios, if they're really just slam packed full of stuff, just send them on over to me, PM me, hit me up on Twitter, however you can reach me and just tell me about like what you're up to, because I love highlighting these. First things up though, I am so excited for this one, Goblins of Elderstone. Lost Goblin Games, I met these guys, or I met two of the team at GDC, last GDC, which was this year. I was going to say last year's GDC, but it was 2016. Met them there, sat around, hung out in the Unreal Engine booth with them, and we talked about game design and how to market yourself and how to promote a game that you know looks good and you just don't know how to get it out there. And I said, we got to do like spotlights for you, and I talked to them about Twitter and how to get themselves out on social media. But this game is so good, and when I first saw it, I'm like, how do you not have like 1 million followers? It's super cute. You play as I guess kind of like a goblin. It's like a god game, like it's a city builder. But you play kind of as this general constructor. You put a couple buildings down, you assign some jobs out. It's sort of like Majesty in that way, but you're kind of like watching them try to figure themselves out, and you're making these executive level decisions, and you can just see the wackiness of the goblins come out in their bizarre personalities. The different tribes have different personalities, and he just looks so cute. And the reward tiers are great. You can name different things, gods, and you can have like little special things made for you and stuff. It's really super cool. You can just tell, like, I retweet these guys all the time if you follow me on Twitter.
Look at them go.
Look at them, they're just so cool. I
Well,
really love them. Oh, and you can actually get a physical one. One of the reward tiers is they will 3D print you out one of those high quality prints of one of these guys.
That's great.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw up top, they're just a couple days into their Kickstarter, and they're like, what, 60, 70% of the way done or something like that? 60%?
Yeah, so they actually have a little ways to
I'll probably
go.
make it.
Yeah, so yeah, this one's looking like it's going to be making it. And if you're wondering why the number's funny, yeah, it's just converted from NZD.
Is that New Zealand?
Yeah, New Zealand
Cool.
dollars. Dollary dues, I think is what they're called in that side of the world.
Okay.
And if anyone gets that Simpsons reference. So yeah, but fantastic reward tiers, and they're doing live streams of their game development, which, there we go, I want to stop on this one, which I found out about the other night because I just so happened to see them tweet about it, went in there, talked to them, and they're like, hey, you got any ideas? And I said, make a cat mountain. And they made a cat mountain, and they're going to put it in the game. And so there's a mountain that's shaped like a cat, and that's very sweet of them. They're very cool guys. So yeah, check out their live streams, talk to them live, give them ideas and suggestions, and they will in turn kind of teach you how to work in the engine, because they actually are really good at what they do in the engine. Anyway,
That's awesome.
Just wanted to go over all that stuff. They're super cool. Check out Goblins of Elderstone on Kickstarter. Next up, right. So this is really funny. Censored ID sent me this. I'm having a hard time recalling his forum name, but Censored ID is his generally preferred name. Sent this over. It's called High Journey. I'm not going to play like the full length video for you, but I do want to scroll over this. It's a very kind of cool short film showing off these gorgeous graphics, and you kind of piece together it's about a Rastafarian with an airship. And him just going on little adventures, and so I believe the title of it is called High Journey because he's high up in the air and flying around. But it looks gorgeous. This is artstation.com/artwork/JONJZ, I believe. But I'll post this all in chat. You can also look at the description of the YouTube channel YouTube description when I get the actual archive posted. But very cool video. Just don't have the time to play the whole thing out right here. I'm going to post the link right now. Link. Okay, cool. But really gorgeous. Love the detail. Super high detailed. Just like stop and you'll notice like a new piece of graffiti every time because the artist went all out on this airship junker, and just super high detailed junker ship with
You might not know, but does is this outline anywhere in the ArtStation post or on the forums what tools he uses or process? Because that is some really great layering.
Let me see here. Let's see here.
If not, it's cool. I just me like I'm not an artist, and so those kinds of things fascinate me, right? And
No,
this looks
you're
awesome.
right though. I'm trying to see here. I'm not sure if he actually details the creation so much,
That's cool.
but it is
Yeah, it's
I
beautiful.
couldn't see this being done without substance or something like that. But oh, there is a little bit of high poly stuff in here and low poly stuff, but not a lot about the texture work, which is clearly
Okay.
super cool. But yeah,
Yeah, love it.
it's a gorgeous thing. Check it out. You'll notice like details like this is like a Starbucks logo that's been
Yeah.
chopped up, and you'll start to notice like where they've taken signs apart and different things. So check it out. Really cool video. Um, again, just censored ID on ArtStation, High Journey.
Cool.
Pew! All right. Game DNA Studio sent this one over to me. This is their game that they've been working on for quite a bit, and I've actually kind of seen it's been popping up into my feed over and over again. It's an endless runner game that you can get on Apple and Android, Chasers. So Game DNA also makes all of these really great marketplace items and plugins for mobile. So if you're making like mobile games, you need ads, you need to have
Mm.
like what was it? It's ads, analytics, a few different things. But Game DNA has been making those, and this game is kind of a product of all that too. Oh, there we go. Yeah, tons of plugins. But yeah, it is actually a showcase for that. Okay.
Nice.
Um,
Oh, so mostly mobile plugins that they've used to have in their game. You can actually check
mhm.
them out other places. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's like it's sort of like how we did Unreal Match 3, where it's like kind of proof of
Yes.
concept. Like, yeah, you can do all these things. Here's how I did them, and here's an actual example of me doing that. But yeah, it's really cool. It's got that kind of hand
Subway
drawn, very
Surfers.
stylized. Yeah, a very
Nice.
stylized look to it. But yeah, you're chasing robbers around, and that's it. It's kind of like an endless runner, swapping lanes, collect coins, jump, dodge, etc. But cool way of showing off all of those plugins. And that's the last one we have today. And like I said, if anyone out there is building anything like these, if you've got a game that showcases lots of features like this, if you've got a cool ArtStation thing, if you've got a Kickstarter that you've just kicked off, hit me up, let me know. I love to highlight these. And these will all be up in the launcher also later today. So cool.
Great.
Those are all of my community spotlights. Pow.
Oh, there's also the community spotlight mega thread that's got all of
Yes.
them listed over the last few years, so you can see over the years all these projects. Some of them have been in here a couple of times. You can kind
Hmm.
of see where they were before and where they are now.
Yeah,
Super cool.
that's under the forums general discussion, I believe, and
Yeah,
what's
community or something like
yeah, you can see stuff. For example, the AR plugin, we highlighted it on multiple occasions because there was an early one that just did like little key-based ones, and then later on he has like way more advanced stuff. So we did a second highlight. So also, if you've done a highlight in the past or a spotlight in the past, I should say, and you've gotten like had massive progress. It's massively different now. Hit me up again. Maybe it is massive enough that it's time to do another spotlight for it.
that. Yeah,
So
totally.
cool,
Yeah,
cool.
progress is
So
cool. Seeing
yeah,
people share their game, as it's being built, it's so awesome to me because
yes.
I remember when I was first getting started, not really understanding how you get from A to B, like
Hmm.
now seeing that and kind of understanding the time it takes and the amount of like, dedication to specific things. What do you tackle first and why? Those are really valuable to others. And, we want to celebrate that. We want to get behind that as well. So
Yeah, I think having things like dev blogs and stuff, it really helps take away from the whole vision of what the industry is. It takes away that intimidation factor when you see the actual real person sitting down and going, first things first, we're going to set up the framework of things and stuff like
yeah,
that. So it's really great
sure.
to see that and then watch the progress. It helps a lot. Clint, are you clipping your toenails over there? Fingernails? He's I just caught him clipping his fingernails over here.
He's got to prune sometime.
It's a mani pedi.
He's hygienic. Do you
Yeah.
blame him?
Well, he's multitasking. What can I say? He can read a book, do this, and clip nails.
All right. So,
So yeah,
um,
I'm sorry. Back to what's on track. What happened over at Steam Dev Days?
Absolutely nothing. I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
it's
Lots of
like
fun,
you
lots
walked
of fun
in,
stuff.
Gabe in, shook everybody's hand once. It's like, thanks, Gabe, nice to meet you,
Yep.
and then get out of
He
here.
was like,
And he gave
he
you
was
one of
like,
those
hi.
sweet controllers. I
I
had an
actually did get
invite to this thing, and
I
then
actually did get a sweet
I
controller.
saw that swag pack, like all that, and I'm like, I had an invite. Oh,
Well, j just register and we'll. I'm just kidding. I don't really know how
I
that
should have
works.
faked my way through it, and you should have gone in and had you pick up a swag pack for me. Is what I should have done. Ah, darn.
Yeah. Um, no, anyway, so I'll try to make this quick for the game jam, so we actually bring that, the deadline a little closer, give people a little bit more anxiety about, submitting whatever. But no, for those that don't know, Steam Dev Days is a two-day event out here in Seattle. Steam had it on a couple of years ago. It was awesome. I didn't get to attend. This is my first one, so it's really cool to see kind of what it's about. There's a lot of talks about the Steam platform itself and what developers are doing with it, what Valve's doing with it, and where it's going forward. And of course, VR is a big focus as well. So you probably won't see a whole lot of like stories coming out of Steam Dev Days like you will at a GDC or E3 or even Oculus Connect because it's really sorry, I have to forgive me while I do that, but um, really developer centric in the sense of like
Hmm.
they don't invite the press, they don't invite a bunch of people that are going to be non-developers. It's not publishers. It's all about those that are creating games that are going to be on Steam or they're leveraging their technology and how we can together make something awesome or how we can make the ecosystem of creators to reach their customers incredible. So keynote was awesome. It was like 2 hours long yesterday, so I probably won't be covering everything that's in it. I've got a concise, condensed version of what everybody talked about, and so I'll just be going over a couple of those things that I think are great takeaways that the Unreal Engine community could benefit from,
Hmm.
specifically if you're actually targeting, the Vive, or if you're actually going to be building a game to put out on Steam. And so,
And I feel
yeah,
like this
so
is probably a good time to mention the Vive grants.
yeah, totally, absolutely. Well, we'll go ahead and do that too. We still have vibes that we're giving out for we're rewarding for Unreal Dev grants to developers that are making really great things. So if you're working on something awesome for VR, you feel free to shoot us a message over at unrealdevgrants.com or unrealengine.com/unrealdevgrants. It's on our website. Fill out the form there. Let us know who you are. Let us know what you're working on, and we'll see what we can do. We've still got some left in the allotment, and we're wanting to get those in the hands of developers all over the world. Thank
Hmm.
you, Alex. Good call.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
and those are no pay backsies, no take
yep.
backsies. We're just give it to you, no questions asked. We're gonna back off, like, but first you just have to tell us like you're doing something cool.
Totally.
So,
Yeah, we want to make sure we can empower you to get closer to your vision with your creation, and that's part of the grants process. It's part of everything we do here, and we partner with Valve on that as well. So yeah, it's great. There we have food. We're philosophically kind of the same in a lot of that in that way, so it works out really well. But yeah, there's a few important takeaways I thought that were really great. And I think that the engine community would benefit from. So I'm going to break this down into the different speakers and kind of what they talked about. So first up was DJ Powers and talked about just like kind of the business of Steam and some of the things that have been showing up lately or some of the trends they've seen. Um, Back in the day, maybe just like 2 or 3 years ago, they were
back in the
manu
day.
yeah, well, it's not, it's crazy. Technology, that's a lot. Thank you, Ian Moore. Um,
Yeah, yeah, every
but
6 months, man.
yeah, but they used to go just like from 5 to 10 games released a week on Steam as the middleman, being the person who takes the game from the developer and sends it out to the end user. But now they've actually been able to scale over 10 times that by getting out of the way and putting tools in place for developers to reach their audience directly. I hear from chat all the time say there's no reason if you're going to ship on Steam, there's no reason to put your game up on Steam via early access without it being available to anybody else, just to be able to do drops of builds to people if you want to check it out. Apple has done this forever with TestFlight or things like that have allowed to do early beta testing through the deployment platform. Excuse me. And yeah, it's a really great thing there too. So lots of things have come online like Greenlight over the last couple of years. It's been great for a lot of developers to actually get their games out to the masses. They've become a really cool marketplace to ship PC games.
Hmm.
Um, what the cool thing that I picked up from this was that they've actually tripled their peak concurrent users since then, since 2014.
Hmm.
So triple the amount of gamers that are online at one time playing video games. So the market grew a lot, right?
Yeah.
Um, Meaning for developers, you have a much larger market to go kind of, serve. You can find new places to get your games, new people to come play your games. And they also found that there's more playtime per user, and more users are more likely to own more games. So this kind of opening the gates up to have a whole lot of people be able to come on and take their game from development to market. It's actually caused the actual game market to grow itself, and more games are getting into the hands of more players for longer, which is pretty cool to me, right? Like
Hmm.
it's like, hey, if I play a game, I actually have a really high opportunity or high probability of getting my games in the hands of a lot of people.
Yeah.
Um, so on that note, too, this is the biggest thing for me that I thought that people could benefit from was they also saw 80% growth in revenue in the US during that time, and 60% in Western Europe during that time. So if you're targeting United States market or just the Western world, you can be good with some of those. You're going to have good success. If you're just targeting America and you're not thinking about going to Western US, do so, and vice versa, right?
Hmm.
There's no reason not to. Yeah, like doubling or tripling or even I don't even know however many uplings this is. Uh,
Quadruples next after that.
no, no, no. There are some new markets like in Asia that have gone upwards of 500% growth
Whew.
since this happened. Yeah. So
Wow.
yeah, so a big takeaway here too is like build your game to, hey, I'm moving. Build your game where you can target new markets and you can localize. You're gonna reach infinitely more people than you would be able to before. It's really awesome. The Steam supports 25 different languages now. They take 29 different currencies, and there's over 100 different countries represented by the developers that are shipping games on Steam.
Mm.
So wherever you are, try to reach as many people as you can. I thought that was a really, really valuable thing to bring back. And I think, oh, it's gone.
Oh, we lost it.
It's all right.
But you're
Thanks,
right. It is
Hurricane
very
Matthew.
but
Yeah, that's great.
it's the
Um,
Windows login. It's okay, everyone. It's just Windows login.
yeah, we're good with it.
It,
Anyway,
it's
so
interesting. You had said arcades.
No, not arcades.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mostly just new markets in
Mm.
Asia and new territories. There's languages and currencies um, that'll allow you to reach more people and have them pay you for your game.
Oh,
It's
okay.
it's kind of cool. So yeah, if you're building a game, think about those things. Think about localization. Think about
Hmm.
the target markets you want to go into and how you put a market there. Do some research and study um, what gamers they're like, and make some decisions based on it. I thought that was awesome. Um, it's a every time I say it, I feel like I'm wrong because 3 or 4 days later, something else is mentioned to me, but that kind of disproves this. But now is the best time to be a game developer, right? Like it's the best time to reach an audience. It's never been as easy as it's ever been to create a product, and now it's not even that difficult to reach an audience. There's always going to be visibility issues of discoverability because there's so many people making games now. But there are wonderful platforms like this that'll allow you to actually reach that large audience.
Hmm.
So I thought that was super cool. So Alex, where are you going to ship your game? Botswana?
Yeah, yeah. I gotta ship mine. Gotta ship it. I'm gonna make an arcade classic so that I don't have to pay royalties because it'll be coin op.
Cheers.
That's a thing in the royalties. Do a coin op one because I hear it's getting big in Japan again. Do coin
Cheers.
ops. That's what I have to do then. Yeah, yeah. Sounds like a
I,
good
I hear, I
idea.
hear, I hear Clint is big in Japan now.
Yeah, Clint is actually in 2 weeks. Clint will actually be in Japan, so feel free if you will be in Japan in 2 weeks to harass the man. I'm sure he would love to meet some of y'all.
Watch out for Clint. He's not hard to spot.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
blue hair.
yes. I think Sleeping Dragon is in Japan and a couple of other
Yep,
people that are regulars. So,
totally. So the next step of the keynote was Joe Ludwig. He's one of their VR engineers. Our team works with him here in Seattle, and he was really focusing more on the future of VR and how Valve is approaching it, which I thought was really cool. So if you're developing for VR, this is really good information to know kind of where things are going. Um, Maybe first took a step back and looked at philosophy and talking about why VR should remain like kind of an open environment, which I thought was really cool. But they believe that like VR and development VR should be open, kind of like the PC or the internet were, right? Like the internet only grew to what it was and became as powerful of a tool as it is because of its availability to people. It's available to people to develop for it, to make content for it, to express themselves in it, to build an identity in it, for better or for worse. Um, the same thing with the PC. I'm sure you've heard Tim talk about, the openness of PC over the last, I guess, 20 years, right? Like it's the reason that technology has been able to grow in the way it is because of that open platform. It's a place where everybody can contribute and create, right? Like it allows anybody to come in and be a part of what it is. And Valve believes that anybody should be a part of VR, right? Like, and with Unreal Engine, we believe anybody should be able to develop for VR. There's a lot of people that might not have the needs if those tools aren't available to them. Um, Open environments also allow for the cycle of creation and adaptation.
Hmm.
So, like, you make something, and then the market reacts to it, or the community reacts to it, and it changes the platform over time. I mean, look at Linux over the last 20 years. I remember when I first started using Linux in 2001. Like I think it was like Fedora, Red Hat 4 or something,
Yeah.
versus what are available now with, like, full distros that people are using as personal computers, or they're using for productivity machines at work that aren't just command line driven stuff that's running servers. So it's really cool. We'll probably see very similar with an open VR platform as well. The same goes for the technology behind it too, like Unreal Engine, right? It being available on an open platform, trying things out. That whole cycle works that way. The technology that Steam is building, that the way that it's approachable and people can leverage it, it allows it to have that iterative loop that continues to grow. Open platforms also allow for a much longer life for that platform because
Hmm.
it's done by a large group of people that are going to help it evolve and grow over time.
Yep.
It's not like anybody owns it, everybody owns it, and as long as everybody is here and they're passionate about it and they care about it, it's going to continue to grow and evolve
Hmm.
based on the needs of those community members or the market itself, which I think is super cool.
Yeah. Yep. That's
And
why I like Blender too. Same thing.
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Totally awesome, right? Um, and the cool thing here was too, like, nobody knows what the next steps are, the actual physical, where do we step next? What is the thing that we have to do next? A lot of times people will come up with the idea that is it. Or a few people will come up together with, hey, say we need to solve these specific problems, but we don't always have the answers yet, or we'd have already solved them. An open platform allows us to come together and solve those things, like, as a group. So I thought that was really cool too. I really dug that thing, and Valve is helping to keep things open by exposing their APIs, making things available for other people to come in and build things on top of Steam VR. Just like Lighthouse technology, this is a cool thing. There are 300 partners licensing the Lighthouse technology for the Vive.
Really?
Yeah, so you're going to see input devices of all kinds going forward. Imagine what all you could track or things like that. Like, what would be the first thing that you'd want to put a tracker on?
Well, like this is something Chris Babcock and I, we talk about this like endlessly, ceaselessly. We'll talk about how we would design these things, and I always come back to it would be wristbands with like the Mio. You know how it can expand
Yeah.
out. Yet you could actually get the aperture of expansion, know how wide around it is, and then have a wristband to do wrist tracking. And so as long as you know where the forearm is, you know where the wrist is.
So
And
you can
if
get
you have
those muscles.
yeah, and if you have a glove, then you don't you so that was the thing is I was messing around with the Manus glove, which is really neat also, and but it doesn't
Cool.
do positional. So if I had a single point or points around here, yeah, you could
Yeah.
track your arm and then just have that, and you'd have full hands. But also, I need ankle bracelets so that I can play the kaiju game, because that is crazy fun. And being able to kick stuff and like kick the buildings and have your legs there too is awesome. And I
Yeah.
was such a big fan of Rampage that
Oh, totally.
second I saw that I'm like I need to kick down a building right now.
Dude, there have been so many Rampage conversations at Steam Dev Days so far about how
Uh,
people want to climb buildings and smash them and do stuff. I'm like, yeah, exactly.
that
We're able to
warms
actually,
my heart. That is
yeah,
so good to hear.
yeah.
Uh,
I want to put them on my dog, like in the collar, like have a trackable dog collar. So when they walk in the
yeah.
room, I know that they're in my room scale space, right? Or
Hmm.
even,
That's a thing. I saw someone has made a mini little project where you take one of the Vive controllers and you strap it on your pet's
yeah,
collar, and you
yeah,
put on the Vive and you have like a virtual pet that is your actual pet.
right. Yeah, but But I mean, really anything. Then this isn't
Yeah.
even just for games. This could go for any enterprise application that you
Hmm.
need full body tracking or full something tracking, right, in a specific space. Um, Put trackers on squirrels and follow their, paths over time. No, I'm just kidding. So it's really cool that they're doing that. They've got potentially, if they do the full lighthouse tech, you could even change the way that the actual lighthouses work themselves. They're making a new,
Hmm.
smaller lighthouse themselves. It's going to be a new thing.
Oh
So I'm
yeah.
interested. I'm interesting to see where that goes as well. It'll
Yeah.
be pretty cool.
It's amazing to think this is the first generation of this hardware, and just the leaps and bounds we're going to get to Gen 2 are going to be insane, and they're already like amazing right now. So this
Yeah,
is
well,
going to
look
be
at where we've
intense.
come. Look at where we've come since the Oculus Kickstarter that kind of brought a lot of VR back to swing,
Hmm.
right? Like we've evolved so much, we've advanced so much just in a very few years. It's only going to amplify going forward. Thanks, Moore's Law. Um, all right. So one more thing that he mentioned was where they're actually going in 2017 and forward, which is pretty cool. There's tons of new input devices showing up. One of them is actually here at Steam Dev Days. You may have seen it.
Hmm.
It's like I don't know. I'm just going to use this water bottle for it, but like you're holding a little device here, which you can still touch and use the individual touch controller items. But when you let go, it's actually stuck to your hand. There's like a little band around it, so you can actually have open hands in a game and not be holding anything, and then grab something. So when you actually grab the controller again.
Oh
But like
wow.
if you're trying to like climb a ladder or catch a football, you actually have a little bit more of the feeling of grabbing, which is kind of cool, right? Like they had
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I just can't wait to see all the comics that are like, look, Ma, no hands. And then once that era's done, we can be done with that joke.
it's just finished. Yeah, there's it's funny they have they had it on the floor yesterday. I didn't get a chance to check it out. We were doing the office hours support with developers, but the line was just like hugely long, and I've heard just nothing but amazing things from it. So still in prototype phase. No one knows when it's actually going to hit yet, or they haven't said it. They might know. I can't speak for them, but they say a bunch of other inputs coming from their hardware partners as well. I, for one, would love to see like just like a generic tracker that you could put on the different joints of your body, right? Like, and actually have full body motion. I was
Yeah.
talking to people at OC3 last week about how you could build a fighting game in VR that actually makes sense. It's not just hands in a head like boxing, but
Hmm.
for your hips, for your knees, and for your feet.
Yep.
What that actually looks like, how you can go. We can go head to head like in a ring. You and I can fight, and we're in different areas, which can be fun.
Oh yeah, it'll be
Um,
really intense to see how people solve that, and how I think we'll end up with like a 5 point system: hand, head, and feet, and then they'll like do a lot of kind of interpreting between that, and then people just add on more things to get more precision over time. It'll become very
yeah.
Ready Player One really quick. Um,
Yeah, and we'll actually get to some of that here in a bit whenever we get to
oh, the
Tim's
Tim's
part of it.
keynote. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
Sprox, or Sporks. I'm sorry, Sporks has a question. Any
Sure.
news on? Sorry, chat just. Any news on mobile motion tracking at Dev Days?
Nothing on mobile at Dev Days. Steam is focused more on PC high end, the Vive and those kinds of things. So I don't think anything came out from there.
Yeah.
There were some items, I don't know if you saw the Daydream announce
Hmm.
last week during OC or right before OC, and then OC has got some plans, I think, or Oculus has got some things in plan.
Yeah,
But
OC3 we saw a lot more of like the wireless headsets and more
yeah,
gear
inside
stuff
out
and
tracking and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So
Cool.
there's certainly more things coming there. They have more input devices, like I said, coming from the Lighthouse partners. They're going to continue to invest in VR going forward. They've got a pretty big team already on it. There's a lot of people at Valve working on VR. They are all
Hmm.
in. It's kind of cool to see. They're actually looking for integration partners and feedback on their items or their offerings or things that might be missing. So hit them up if that's something that you're interested in getting involved in. They're looking for developers to actually come forward with their hardware or software and chat with them about that. So pretty cool.
Yeah, that sounds really cool.
Yeah, a couple other things from him before we get on to Tim. I don't know if you'd seen like some of the reprojection or like the frame buffering that Sony and Oculus have done in the past, where basically if you miss a frame, they'll actually add another one in between to kind of make up for it.
Oh yeah.
Steam's actually some of those things. Steam is adding some of those things as well, just in case you drop 90 on accident. Now, still aim at 90, of course. Still hit
Yeah,
90.
yeah.
Still don't not. But for those situations that you cannot avoid, if they do present themselves, they're adding technology there to kind of help bridge some of those gaps, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Um, Another one that was really cool that Joe mentioned was that they're actively looking at supporting Linux and Mac OS.
Oh wow.
So
Oh
yeah, they
yeah.
want they
That's
want to
intense.
bring they want to bring VR to all all platforms. They want it to be available, and they teased some more surprises coming next year that they couldn't quite talk about yet.
Awesome.
Which I was like, okay, thanks. I guess
Uh,
I'll stand by.
yeah,
So,
I've been super excited for all this that they've been talking about with like the independent tracking bits and all that. Oh, Comrade Headcloth was curious, and if you'd seen anything talk about wireless Valve VR technology.
nothing that I picked up on yet. I haven't caught all the talks. So I really only got through the keynote and then getting started shipping on Steam talk. So nothing yet. But I'll see if I can find things out. I'm sure that they're going to have all of the videos from all the talks up online
Oh, awesome.
within a couple weeks. Yeah. So anything that you missed by not being here, you'll be able to catch up on as well. I didn't see anything specifically coming around from that though.
Dang. All right, cool. So, Tim's keynote, he had quite a
Yeah.
bit to
So
say, huh?
Tim. Yeah, so it's great. The keynote was super awesome. It's three parts. It was like an hour and a half. And Tim's focus was on the future of VR and computing. So it's less about Unreal Engine and what we're specifically doing, but more his vision into what is next and kind of where we're going. And some of these things are way in the future. And Carmack had mentioned some of these things last week as well about kind of how VR is going to permeate so many things. So there was a really funny thing I saw on, gosh, I guess it was Twitter. It was Tim speaking about things at OC3, responding to how many people have VR headsets now, and it's kind of like the equivalent of the percentage of population that had PCs in '78. So when you look at how specific machines like the Apple II helps with game development, move things along, everything that happened in the early '80s throughout the '90s. In the '90s, everything took off, right? We might still be a little ways out as far as complete ubiquity with VR, but I mean it's the next major platform that's going to change a lot of things. So all right, so specifically things on Tim's notes. I've kind of condensed his down a little bit,
Hmm.
but
Yeah, it was like a
you know
50-page presentation with like tons
yeah.
of notes and lots of
Yeah,
details.
Tim is super passionate about this stuff, and so I'll try to represent as well as I can within the time we have. I know we're already at like 250, right? So I was thinking this was going to go shorter than it is, but here we are. It's how it always works, right, Alex?
Yeah.
Um, So VR is gonna the VR developers of today are gonna lead everything that VR does in the future, not just games. And this is the same thing that's always happened with 3D technology in the past, right? Like where games have led first, interactive mediums that we push the hardware and software. It
Hmm.
trickles into everything else.
Yeah.
VR is as a platform and not as like a peripheral for games or for specific things. It's going to permeate everything.
Yeah,
It'll change.
it's a new medium. Right now it's fresh, but yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's gonna just be a household thing in no time, which is pretty interesting to think about.
yeah, totally. Well, it'll change the way we work. It'll change the way we communicate with each other. It'll change the way we travel. It's going to impact all markets. And any market that leverages technology is probably going to be, adopting some form of it, sooner than we probably think. It's really great, and we'll get to some of those here in a second. But really focused on the idea of PC being the platform for VR in a lot of ways because PC, like Joe mentioned, PC is open. It's a way for people to get in and create without a whole lot of friction. It's also high performance. It's high quality. It's always going to lead at the beginning or lead at the forefront of the high end, and that always comes back down into everything else. You even take a look at the I think it was the 3D graphics didn't make it to consoles until much later that they were on PC, right? Like, and that's always going to kind of be the case. PC will lead so many different industries.
Hmm.
Um, High-end graphics are vital to VR for a number of different reasons. Like our brains are far more demanding on immersive experiences than they are on like a television or a monitor or even a smartphone, right? And even if you're not building a stylized, or if you're building a stylized, non-realistic game,
Hmm.
you still got to trick your brain into believing the world around you, like the light, things like lighting and how you actually approach it. There's a psychological aspect to it
Hmm.
that that or render like an Unreal Engine, anything that's that high end, and so it's what a PC is capable of doing is really going to help you really suspend that disbelief and dive into a full presence.
Yeah, it's actually kind of an interesting that you bring up the stylization thing to me because all VR to me is stylized. Like, since we don't have true reality in virtual reality, I thought that was such an interesting thing to kind of cover is when you play a like cell shaded something hyper
Yeah,
stylized. It's something your brain actually does start patching in and going, this makes sense
sure,
after a little bit. But if you really pay close attention to any VR game, you'll always notice that they have to slightly stylize everything,
sure.
even the hyper real stuff, just because it'll take us a little bit before it's like perfect, you know. But I think
Yeah,
it's
we
interesting that your brain does fill in cell shading.
yeah, totally. And a lot of that too, and Tim actually covers that a little bit here too, but the future of, computing, right, will solve some of those issues of things like digital humans, and then we'll be able to bring those things, into VR, right, the same way we've done everything else. So, um, yeah, it's cool. Like specifically on stylized, look at Henry, right? Henry is stylized animation, but it's a fully immersive experience. Like you're in that house with him, right? Like it's super cool. And also PC being a platform for VR, it's capable of handling a lot of things like PBR, photometrics,
Yeah.
photogeometry, other leading rendering tech that has allowed us to make some of the best looking and feeling and like aesthetically complete video games or
Hmm.
other pieces of software. You're going to see the same thing coming from PC and VR. Um, we also covered a little bit on like building in VR. Eventually that's going to be a thing that we do a lot more of. There's the VR editor that we announced and launched earlier this year, and it's continuing to get updates. We're actually going to have Lauren and Mike Fricker come on a live stream later to kind of show all the cool new things that are there in 4.13 and 4.14,
Hmm.
and then talk about the future a little bit there. I've met a number of people in the industry that are building tools that are creative tools in VR. That haven't been announced yet that are just awesome. And there's also those that are like painting tools like Tilt Brush or Medium or even Sculptor VR. One of our Dev Grant winners, Nate, who's actually out here, met with him earlier today. They're building things that are allowing people to come into VR and create. So it's kind of got the Minecraft approach where you're actually letting your consumer come in and do something as well, not just as professionals that are building things, but you're going to be able to give that to an end user and have them pull and cool assets and make content as well
Hmm.
inside VR. So there's a cool like kind of spillover outside of the professional development community into the consumers, which I think is super cool. You as a gamer can actually make your own worlds.
Yeah,
Um,
that's I think we're going to start seeing. I was so funny. I was thinking about this very concept. It's like right now it's sort of exclusive to VR enthusiasts, people that are really hardcore into VR. But as it normalizes and becomes a consumer thing, and people are normalizing creating in VR, we're going to see
yeah,
genres of games that we didn't even comprehend as a thing until the creative, accidental development that happens out there in the wild starts happening, where people like the whole MOBA like genre only happened because a couple of people were like, oh, well, let's mod around and have fun and come up with a whole new genre. So
sure.
I'm sure that with VR as a medium and throwing it out there in the wild, we'll see just swaths of new concepts of what game is.
Yeah,
So,
totally. It's storytelling in general is going to drastically change. Film is going to be different too because you're no longer building for a frame.
mhm.
You're building for wherever your user currently is or your viewer
Yeah,
currently is,
it's no
and
longer
it
about the shot; it's about the
right.
atmosphere of the that moment and stuff like that.
And yeah, and how can you take what you've learned from shooting, and kind of framing and apply it there? There are very few direct analogs, and some of those things are being solved now for games too. We're finding new good design standards and conventions. It's gonna like again, it's gonna permeate everything at some level, and it's gonna be super cool. So yeah, and on top of that too, there's a great term was coined by Tim on stage. I'd never heard this, but like talking about enterprise as nonfiction gaming, like where you have you have interactive experiences that aren't games. They're just like your way to actually get immersed into something and build it. You'll see all kinds of uses for VR and real-time technology, not just VR, but both. Real-time tech has taken over in that space, and it's growing exponentially. More and more companies, they're trying to visualize information,
Hmm.
or they're trying to design products, or they're trying to really make decisions based on big data that they cannot on paper really understand. They can't grok it.
Hmm.
Volumized 3D space and a sense of presence will really allows people to understand and work or understand the product and some of the problems in a way that it only can and work around them in that environment. Let's look at the McLaren demo. These people need these kinds of things. It's changing the way that we built that with McLaren, and it's changing the way that they approach designing cars. And you're going to see that go, to a number of different other places. I know people in enterprise that are working in like oil drilling, things like that. Now, they're just looking at data that's being sent up to them, and they're visualizing it in specific ways in VR that they can actually go in and take a look at what ground readings are actually telling them and what they can actually expect. It's something we've never been able to do before. It's pretty cool. And same thing in other nonfiction gaming, but this
I
is
love
less.
that term, by the way. It's like
Yeah,
really growing on me fast. I like it a lot more than serious games because
yeah,
serious feels like I'm supposed to go into it and it's going to be like a movie drama. Like no
exactly right.
smiling allowed.
Yeah,
This is a serious game
yeah,
versus nonfiction gaming. It's not a simulation. It's not a really like gamey game. It's a
yeah.
nonfiction game.
Yeah, and kind of in that same vein, we're looking at Hollywood take VR and run with it. We saw the Weta workshop smog demo we did at GDC, a year and a half or ago or so, and it's super cool. There are people that are working for Oculus that are making films like Story Studio, and the projects they're making, they're literally film style as opposed to being like some sort of toy or game. Disney, they're doing the Star Wars expansion to Disneyland and Walt Disney World. Like they're taking big IPs and they're using VR to tell stories in a more meaningful and more immersive way. It's awesome, and they're all using real time engines and they're all using PCs. Just kind of threading that theme back to say that these are the kinds of things, these are the experiences, the large points for some of the largest IPs in the world or new IPs that are going to be dominant, that are showing they're going to lead the rest of the industry, right? It's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Um, and yeah, you've seen Henry, right, Alex? Like,
Oh yeah, it's so
yeah, right.
great. It's an amazing little experience. The trailer for it was like the best tease forever, and then when you finally actually get to
Yeah.
see it and experience it, it's very heartwarming, and there's definitely some very emotional moments. It's lovely. Yeah.
But a VR experience, a VR story won an Emmy, right?
Yeah, it's
And we're
incredible for that. Yeah.
and VR has only been, and you can only experience it in VR, and it's only been around for just a few years. So these are things that we're going to see more and more of. Um, Another thing that was mentioned was how awesome multiplayer in VR is and is going to continue to be. Social VR is just incredible. It's magic. Like if you played Pool Nation VR, like
Hmm.
with friends, like being able to walk on a pool table with them. I've seen a number of other different experiences at shows, like what the Be Real guys are doing, or
Oh yeah.
there's a toy box from Oculus,
What
uh,
raw data is
raw
from
data.
Servius. Like, when Jess and
Yep.
I played that together, so many times I just like pick up the gun and like slowly point it at her until she notices. Then she'd like have a gun in her face and she's like panicking.
And
It's
y'all
so
and
much
y'all are in
fun.
physically different
Yeah, we were
spaces,
in
right?
different rooms entirely,
Yeah.
but we were side by side, back to back, fighting the androids.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so that's really cool. We're all really excited about what is coming and in that ways. Oculus, this was a big thing that they talked about in their keynote last week too, is the social aspect of VR, them being a social network. It makes sense, but yeah, it's really impressive. Um, VR input and creation was touched on a little bit. We say creation with the specific tools we talked about beforehand with the VR editor and some of the other tools we talked about there, Tilt Brush and stuff. But um, Tim actually showed the cinema video of their live mocap going into a game engine and moving forward, and kind of hinted that there are ways that this big room full of equipment over time, Moore's law will catch up, and we'll actually be able to potentially use VR or AR to do those kinds of captures for our games and for our other things. And I've actually seen some specific use cases of VR right now that are less. I have a body suit and I do a thing and it records it in VR, but I've seen other uses that actually work as a proof point against that already. That they're kind of behind closed door stuff. But it's really cool. We're gonna see all that stuff come, and it's gonna hit us on PC, and we're gonna be able to build all kinds of great things, and then it'll continue to go from there.
And then it'll just
Um,
be everywhere, and then everyone's got that. And then I can
yeah,
say, then
totally.
I can be like, look at all this Ready Player One that happened, and the grandkids
Well,
that are around me are gonna be like, what's Ready Player One, Granddad?
we will get there. We will get there. That is the next point. But before that, for me, I am the worst animator in the world, right? And
Yeah.
so those kinds of tools will allow me to at least be, hey, I'm not a great actor either, so I won't have the best mocapped humanoid that I've got in my
Oh
game
yeah.
that's going to show a specific thing. But
Makes it
just like
super
Blueprint,
easy. Yeah.
yeah, just like blueprints allow artists to kind of get in and build things, Blueprints also have the end. They are the means to the end, right? You can actually build a thing with them. These are things that are more like about you being able to create something for now, for me as a designer, and then have somebody real come in and finish it out that is better at acting or better at yeah, pretty much anything that I am.
I just realized we're gonna have like programmer art, like placeholder animation programmer art, where it's like I'm doing a walking animation,
I'm a
right?
box.
Is this how is this how a normal person
Yeah,
walks? I can already see
exactly.
myself like, am I throwing the punch right?
Yeah.
I got to go get someone who actually is a boxer to come in here and help me out.
Yeah, exactly. But at that point, too, it's just really you grabbing a boxer as opposed to having to take a boxer to a mocap space and
Hmm.
run it over and over and over again. We'll eventually at some point be doing all this in real time.
I
And
just I just got the image of like there's like this herd of like game devs, like all these like nerdy guys, glasses, not very athletic people coming into a gym and like I need to borrow you. I
yeah,
could buy your lunch. I just want you to come over, run around for 1 second, and that's it.
I will be that guy. I will walk in and be like, "Hey, can I borrow you for a second?"
It's like
Um,
I think you could probably leap over something I can't leap over. Can you can I borrow you?
yeah, I should vault this thing. No, it's crazy how that works out.
Yeah.
Like, and I wanted to again say that these are kind of projections into the future. This is not technology that Unreal Engine is building right now for you guys to see at the next show or whatever.
Yeah,
But
I'm
these
waiting for
are,
Chad to be like, "Is this 414 you're talking about?"
yeah, exactly. When is
Oh
when
yeah,
is
all
when
of
is
this.
exactly? But yeah, it was really good there, and then the ultimate convergence of all VR platforms is what is known as the metaverse. It is kind of not really sure how far out it is, but this is something that a lot of the tech giants have been looking at building or working towards since the 90s. Even you read old interviews of Carmack or even or Tim, and they're really focused on that. The minute we got online gaming, it's like how do we get people into this persistent online world? And there's been lots of really great science fiction books written about it, but at some point there is the possibility that that is the way that we're going, and so it'll be a place where everything is converged, where we can share realistic social experiences with each other and kind of create the world around us. Um, there's parts of these things already exist, like
Hmm.
in various formats. Like Facebook is asynchronous social communication, or it's at the same time it happens there. It's a gigantic network with over I don't know, it's like 1.6 billion people or something. I don't know the exact numbers. That are already a part of it, right? That are already as connected some way virtually. There are other tools like Minecraft, right, that actually has world building that allows you to create the new space and have social experiences in as well.
Hmm.
And there's World of Warcraft, of course, which is actually a fully thought out, developed world by a massive team. But I know people that spend a whole lot of time in World of Warcraft with their friends and people there, like communities that they've built, both from people that they know in the real world and online. And it's really a powerful thing to really bring people together and have that level of immersion in something else. But what we're missing is that virtual presence, that deep immersion
Hmm.
for you and I. Like I can't be we can't sit in a room virtually with all of our viewers and like high five them as we walk around. We've got to still be on the screen where I'm in a hotel and you're there and we're flat to flat to flat to flat, right?
But the live
But
stream is going to be so much better once we are here, and then
yeah,
everyone piles in an actual 3D audience, and I can leave the stage and come up and grab Victor Burgos and be like, "Hey, what's up, buddy?"
yeah. And instead of asking questions in the chat, they can just raise their hand.
Yeah, oh yeah, that'd be great. Or or
It's like,
knowing that
oh,
they'll yell at us or throw virtual items. It's like, "Hey,
yeah, exactly. Um, and then the last thing Tim touched on was kind of the idea that we will at some point need to converge on protocols and standards for VR. Like every platform, there's always been some level of, okay, there's a bunch of people doing a bunch of different things. For this to thrive and be successful and grow into the massive possible thing, we need to kind of standardize on a few things and start speaking the same language. I have some rules around that, so it actually helps it to grow and build. I mean, I remember there was the open standards for Collada, and then was it the 90s or whatever for 3D modeling, and those standards have changed over time. VHS or beta, those kinds of things, one has kind of been the new de facto thing. So everybody that wants to be a part of digital media can actually hop into that. We've had MP4s, MP3s. We've had a number of different things. There have been a few of them different out there, but there's usually one that's kind of an understood standard, more of a leader that moves forward. And we don't really have any standard set today, but Tim mentioned that as an industry, we need to be thinking about it and kind of how we move forward because this fully connected world, as we get closer to there, it's necessary for making it a solid, cohesive, thriving future for VR.
Yeah.
We'll need things like how do we manage real-time presence? Like engines and rendering technology can handle that right now. It could help standardize that. E-commerce is something that we have our bank accounts tied to, and it's just the way that we approach is digital, or is there a new currency like Bitcoin or Dogecoin?
Well,
And
I am a big fan of Kanye West. That's my
okay,
preferred currency.
all right.
Don't you groan at me.
So whenever I'm back in the office, we can go to lunch and you can pay. I just want to see what happens with your Kanye West.
Because I have 3 billion Kanye Wests.
I see. All right.
I have none.
Um, and then also things like social communication, like a standardized platform. Facebook
Yeah.
already does it. Steam has a communication, chat system. There might be other open solutions out there that are thrive. Maybe things we've never even heard about too. And there's still a number of other things that we would have to solve to get there. But that's kind of the super long arc of where things could be going, and some of the things that are being worked on now by multiple people in the industry to get us there. And that was mostly the keynote.
Yeah.
I did it. I think I got, it was 35 minutes. I think it's a little better than
I
I
think you
thought it
did a pretty
was.
good job filling it out, talking about the things and letting them all like process and put stuff out for the Epic Mega Jam 2.
Yeah,
Uh,
great. Oh, I know. Yeah, so I gave you all an extra 8 minutes, huh?
yeah, it was really good. I'm checking out what's going on here in chat, and it looks like we're getting close to 200 submissions at this time.
Great.
So everybody, I'm gonna do quick rundown about the Epic Mega Jam stuff. Actually, Clint, can you jump to the main page? So I just wanted to show you all this. If you hadn't seen, Falcon Northwest posted a picture of the actual tiki that they had custom made for the Epic Mega Jam with Unreal branding on it. It's a little teaser image of it. You can see it's actually like got the logo printed in it. It's this kind of sleek white sharp box. But this is the one. It's got the 1080 in it, the i7, all the it's Oculus ready. It's absolutely powerful and amazing, and it's great for development and also playing VR and VR development. But
And for shows.
and you can just like have your friends come over and turn it on, and the light comes on, and you just make them look at it and just make them jealous because it
Well, no,
looks awesome.
you have no idea how many of these things show up at shows like PAX. If you're going to go show your game off places, these are not totally lightweight because they're a metal box full of heavy equipment, but
Hmm.
they fit in, carry-on bags.
They're
People
super
that
slim.
Yeah, we use them for all of our shows as well. They're great. They're easy to ship. They're easy to set up there, and they're beautiful boxes. They show really well for your game. So
Yep. So that's the grand prize. So the way that this works is we're going to play through. Oh my gosh, we're gonna play through almost 200 games. We have about 2 weeks to do that because we'll be announcing the winners. I think it's the 27th. Don't want to misspeak there. 27th. We will be announcing the winners with Michael Aller here. But so the way that this grand prize works is we will pick those top 3 teams for who meet the best of their for gameplay, aesthetic, and theme. So those top 3 finalists, all of their individual members will be put into one grand prize raffle. We'll pick out one person from those teams, and then that's who's going to be getting this super mega ultra computer. And So that's how that works. So if you were picked as a finalist, get really excited because you could be winning this PC and having it shipped straight to your
Sweet.
house. And yeah, it's just fantastic. But I just want to do a quick rundown again so everyone knows what they're winning out here. So, all of the finalists, in addition to being entered into the grand prize raffle, will be receiving a big pack of cool stuff. You will be getting, oh goodness, it's quite a list. An Unreal Engine Game Jam T-shirt, where we're going to have actually a new shirt design that we've come out. We haven't shown it yet, but I'll show it at probably when we actually announce the winners. We'll show the new design. It's really cool, and it's what we're going to be using for 2017. But you'll be the first to get it. You'll get this you get the T-shirt, Fortnite Alpha Access key for each of your members of the teams, Shadow Complex Remastered for each of your team members for Steam. So you have the PC version. It's so much fun. 1 year license to Houdini Indie, a Houdini Indie promotional material pack, which is a swag pack of like Houdini stuff. It's really cool. A Speed Tree T-shirt, a 1 year subscription to Speed Tree per team member, and also a $500 Speed Tree coupon for your entire
Wow.
team. So you guys, you'll probably either hand that off to your artists or you'll split it up amongst everybody, however you feel is appropriate. And so those are the finalist prizes. We also have special category prizes for Army of One, for if you're a solo developer, if you were making a game that when you packaged it down, it actually was under 100 megabytes. And a lot of people have come up with really interesting ways to really size down their game, not just what we've suggested, but people have come up with their own concepts. It's really cool to see those.
Has anybody put one on the web yet?
Uh,
Because then it's
I had a
not.
lot of people talking about that. Like, well, it has to package, and I have to get the package. Like, if it's streaming into the packaged game, that's one thing. But if it's just a HTML game, that's not it. Also, we don't have those on here. But
Yeah.
what we did have is people taking out like prerequisites or just stripping out sections of the
Yep.
engine
Yep.
and coming up with unique ways of filling in that. And then the third of the specialist categories is coolest character design. So that's for best like main character and unique characters throughout the whole thing. If you put a lot of time, energy, and effort into making the characters of your game awesome and unique, that's the one that you're going to be shooting for. And anyone who wins any of those three will be receiving the Unreal Engine prize pack with the T-shirt, a Fortnite Alpha key, a Shadow Complex key. So you'll get some games and you'll get some swag pack stuff. And you'll also get shout outs. We'll be talking about all of these winners. Of course, we'll be talking about all of you during the actual announcement of the winners. Additionally, a Logarithmic might pick your game. So Logarithmic, as they did last year, will go through all of the games for the most aesthetically pleasing, and they will find those, and they will give their top one a 1 year license to Substance Live. Second place will get a 6 month license to Substance Live, and third will be a 3 month license to Substance Live for
Cool.
each member across the board. So you'll all have a lot of free substance time. That's really cool, especially for the artists out there. And if you're making a game that they picked, you probably have a lot of artists on your team. In addition to that, we have a series of raffles. Side Effects has a raffle where we'll be raffling off one of their swag packs with a Houdini Indie license, T-shirt, and stickers and all that. And then, since we hit the goal of 150 plus submissions. I should have made it 200 clearly to really get them up there. But yeah, wow. We'll also be raffling off 6 Speed Tree packs of gift card, year subscription, and T-shirt plus swag. And also Intel, we have 6 NUC units, which a NUC is a mostly built mini PC with i7 processor and a bunch of other stuff. It needs RAM and a hard drive, And once
They
you
are awesome.
they are just super great for this, and I'm just gonna say, like, what I'm hearing a lot of people do with these is you make like a build farm, like use it as a perf or server, and you just put it off to the side and let it run and like process stuff for you while you do other things on your main PC, and it's super great for that. Or you can set up as an entertainment system, as you know, however you want to use it. It's a really good mini PC. Um,
I met two guys out here that have three or four of the other ones, like the last year's model, that are similar from
yeah,
Intel, that they use as a render farm right when they're trying to bake massive sets of light maps
yeah,
for,
that's the
VR
smart
and
thing to
things.
do.
They're really nice. They're awesome, awesome technology.
And those are from our buddies over at Intel, who are doing their Intel Achievement Unlocked stuff. So they're awesome. I really have to say thank you again to all of our sponsors. You've all been just fantastic, and it's so great to get to give out all these cool things to everybody. Yeah, so we got everybody an extra like 16 or so minutes of getting to get their entries in there. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna have to probably lock things down in a second. But before I do that, do we want to say again, Michael Aller, he's going to be streaming. Whoops, all my things suddenly jumped everywhere. Um,
Hmm.
so Michael Aller, he's going to be streaming all the games as he normally does, all maybe 200 of them it seems, on the 17th, 9 a.m. PST, twitch.tv/awesomealler. Check him out. He's awesome. And then he'll also be here to help guest judge. If we're lucky, we'll also be able to have maybe Jess box in, like do like a call in,
Yeah,
and all
totally.
that. And then you know what happens after that is I get married. That's right, dropping that
Woo!
one on everybody. Yeah,
Yeah. So you'll probably get me back in the seat for a while. I'm sorry, y'all.
yep.
I know that Alex is the rock star here, but you'll
I'm
have
gonna
to deal
miss
with
all
me
of
for a
you,
little bit.
but I am gonna have a couple weeks off for a honeymoon in early November. So you'll have this guy, maybe Daniel Kaiser come out or something. We'll have some cool people come out and talk to everybody in my stead, and then I'll come back and we'll all have a good time. But it's gonna be great. I'm so excited for this entire month, and this was just the beginning of it. So for me now, for me, the fun begins because I get to play all your games, talk about them, and we're gonna judge them. We're gonna have a really good time just talking about them to each other and seeing what all you made. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Chance, you got anything else?
So we are aiming for, I believe, next week to do the 414 preview one live stream.
It's all happening. It's all
So
happening.
just thought I'd let y'all know that is currently the plan of record. Things may change as they do around here. We're a very, very, very fast company in a lot of ways, but yeah, that's kind of the current goal right now. I'd love to see y'all all there. Mike Fricker, he doesn't know it yet, but we're gonna drag him on to chat through everything that's coming, and I'll be back in town as well, so hopefully I can swing by. Um, Other than that, no, I'm just super anxious to get my hands on the games. I know we have our work cut out for us for sure, but I'm glad that I'm back in town for a bit so we can make it work. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. All right, everybody. I'm about to shut the thread down, so get it in
Do
there,
it.
and we'll see you all in just a little bit, and yeah, and have some fun. And yeah, next Tuesday, tune in for the training stream. So see
Yep.
y'all then.
Best of luck, everyone. Catch y'all later.
Bye.